Welcome back, everybody. A week from Saturday, Milwaukee is going to host the North American premiere of a new documentary. It is called A Billion Lives.
Yeah, around the world, over 40 million people use vapor technology as a means to successfully quit smoking. But the film says pharmaceutical and tobacco companies, along with anti-smoking advocacy groups and even our own governments, are colluding to destroy the e-cigarette trade. A Billion Lives was independently funded by the Milwaukee-based company Attention Era Media, and we're now with the director and executive producer. It's Biebert, who traveled across 4 continents in search of the truth. Welcome back.
Hey, glad to be back. It's always good to be home.
That was a long intro, but
yeah,
it was good at kind of laying out what we're talking about.
It's true. It's a big task that you took on, and something that a lot of people are hesitant to do because you're really trying to expose big tobacco.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't do it because they're afraid of what could happen. You know, there's been a lot of documentaries that have started to tackle the topic but never actually finish. And you know, we had some people trying to hack our company and all this stuff. So I mean, there is some danger when you start dealing with you know, hurting potentially $1 trillion in revenue for various different groups. And so yeah, there's a little bit of risk, but honestly, at the end of the day, if you don't do something remarkable, I mean, there's really no point in doing anything at all in my case. So
love that.
I love it. I think you're a gutsy guy. Let's talk about a few numbers first of all.
Yeah.
How many people smoke?
Well, right now they say there's just a little bit over 1 billion people smoking, and I guess in my mind that could make some sense. But what really is shocking to me is that 1.6 billion people are projected to be smoking in the next 20 years. So it's actually going up, not down. And I always thought smoking was going away.
That doesn't include vapor technology, or it does?
No, that's only people that light tobacco on fire and actually smoke it.
Traditional cigarettes.
Yep,
so
right.
How many people are expected to die then from cigarette
Well,
smoking?
the name of the film is A Billion Lives because
in how much time?
In one century. So the current century that we're in, the United Nations World Health Organization actually predicted that this century 1 billion people would die from smoking.
Now here's the big question, I think. How many people who smoke want to quit?
Yeah, well, that's the big thing. A lot of people are like, well, just quit. I mean, you know, just quit. And for a lot of people that started older in their life, that's actually not the hardest thing to do. But a lot of people that are smoking started when they were kids, or have some sort of mental thing, or ADHD, or some sort of mental disability. And those people are having an incredibly hard time to quit. A lot of people have tried 10, 15 times, having no success. But of those billion smokers right now, 70% want to quit, and they're not quitting, and 1 out of 2 of them is going to die. So this is actually a pretty serious thing.
Where did you find some of the information that you used for the documentary? How did you come about it? Yeah,
well, our goal from day one was, hey, we need to actually find out the facts about this, because everyone is vaping and e-cigarettes. I mean, a lot of cases when I first discovered it, I'm like, this looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of misinformation about it. So we went to the top people. We went to the former president of the World Medical Association, kind of like the top doctor in the world, and also the former executive director at the World Health Organization. Those 2 guys are probably our chief people in the film as far as medical people. They're both doctors. They're both, in some cases, like scientist type people. And so we said, hey, what do you think about this? And they were both kind of initially, they were against it, but actually admitted in some cases in the film that they were wrong about it, and that there's actually a lot of misinformation that most doctors don't even really know about what even like nicotine is.
Like what? What would be an item of misinformation?
I think something like the stat was something like 70 or 80% of doctors in the U.S. think that nicotine causes cancer.
Right.
But actually, the real facts are that nicotine is a lot like caffeine. It's actually they're like sibling molecules. Yeah. And that it's not incredibly difficult to quit nicotine on its own, but that when you're smoking, there's actually a lot more in there. And so that's actually why it's so hard to quit.
So it's fillers and things like that?
Yeah.
You know, my mom is a smoker, and oftentimes I've tried to get her. I watched my grandmother, her lungs get pumped. She had lung cancer. You know, people who've experienced lung cancer, people who die from smoking, it's traumatic, it's awful, it's a horrible epidemic. But for her, one of the things she talks about is that feeling when she smokes. And she tried vaping and she can't get a similar feeling. Is that where the problem lies in terms of it becoming deadly too, the actual lighting of the nicotine?
Well, they say that smokers, they smoke for the nicotine and maybe the habit and that sort of thing, but they die from the tar. They die from the actual like carbon monoxide and all the diseases that come along with that. And so if we can get people to quit lighting things on fire, which is where the carcinogens come from, they won't be dying. And the Royal College of Physicians in the UK just came out with this big study saying, hey, we need to promote this.
Yeah.
Like, it's at least 95% safer. They
promote
don't
vaping.
Yeah.
It's at least 95% safer. So
at
vaping,
least.
you're talking about e-cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, vaping.
Yep. Anytime you see someone
vaporizing.
holding that device and they're
there's liquid in it that's
they're
flavored.
Those are vast majority of the time are actually smokers trying to quit. So I used to think they were just being silly or dumb.
Cool.
But now I see these guys and I just want to give them a hug because I know they're actually trying to save their life. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I've had a total change of heart on the whole topic.
Why all the lies? Who's lying to us? We said the government, big tobacco, even anti-smoking groups. Why are they lying to us about e-cigarettes and vaping and all of that?
Well, it's complicated, but in the movie we go into this whole idea of like the Baptists and the bootleggers down the South. The bootleggers and the Baptists, the preachers actually end up working together to kind of get alcohol banned. But in this case, it's because for different reasons. Some are just morally against it. They just don't like the idea that someone might have an attachment to nicotine, so you should just stop it. Other people, they make a lot of money on cigarettes. If you think about it, the government makes more money on cigarettes than actually the cigarette companies do, which is
Really?
crazy. Yeah.
On the
By
taxing.
taxes?
Yeah, taxes, and there's some sort of other thing like commissions. They're actually getting paid behind the scenes too, but only if cigarette sales are good. Pharmaceutical companies, they make Nicorette gum and all that kind of stuff. Those guys are actively lobbying against this, but they also make money on people that are sick and dying too.
Right.
Now that's not in the film because that's more of a conspiracy theory, but if you think about it, if I make a lot of money selling cancer drugs, I'm not exactly hoping that goes away.
So in terms of your movie then too, I like the fact that you said this is not about a conspiracy theory.
Right.
These are you finding facts and top professionals.
Right. Only facts.
Only facts.
We're not trying to deal with goofy conspiracy theories. I wanted the top doctors. We got scientists and doctors from all over the world. It's not even one crazy region. This is a worldwide thing. And I think there's some really good worldwide consensus on the facts.
And it's been well received, some awards already. It's huge that the premiere is happening here in Milwaukee. So as we put this up, you can go to abillionlives.com. There's a big red carpet event. It's happening Saturday, August 6th at the historic Pabst Theater, but stuff going on all weekend long related to this huge debut, right?
A big group of festivities. The Intercontinental is our host hotel for the event. We are starting Friday night with a big thing. We're going to be going around the town showing people. We got people coming from all over the world for this. So I'm going to show them Milwaukee and let them know why I love the city so much.
Very impressive,
Exciting.
Aaron.
Yeah, hope to see you on the red
Congratulations.
carpet.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I gotta look for a dress. Thank you so much. I'm proud of you, and congratulations on this finally coming together. This is a huge deal, and you've got so many followers on Facebook and all your social media sites. So congratulations to you.
Send this to your moms and your friends and everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again.